Now, knowing you, I know that you're aware of the things that people are saying. You're moving up in two-weight classes. You're the smaller man. Whatever you do, Terence Crawford, don't exchange against them. What do you feel you have to do?
Be myself. I'm 41-0 for a reason.
Stephen A.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career.
For more than 20 years, people believed Floyd Mayweather's perfect 50-0 record would never be challenged, as he built a reputation as a defensive master who made even the greatest fighters look average. But after one historic night and a bold comment from the only boxer who had faced them both, that legacy suddenly came under debate. The conversation shifted from simply asking who was better to wondering if Mayweather's entire era had just been surpassed. The controversy erupted when Terence Crawford had his hand raised after a stunning performance against Canelo Alvarez, delivering a result many fans once thought could never happen.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this four-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, masterful.
The biggest surprise came during the post-fight press conference, when reporters asked Canelo to compare Crawford with his former rival Floyd Mayweather. With cameras rolling and the world watching closely, Canelo didn't pause or dodge the question and spoke directly, making it clear where he stood.
If you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Spoken by the only fighter who has shared the ring with both men, the comment landed like a bomb across the sport and quickly reignited a debate that had been building for years. That single remark pulled in major voices, including Stephen A. Smith, who was watching closely and immediately hooked by what he saw. Like many fans, he expected Crawford to rely on sharp technique and stay on the outside to outbox the bigger, stronger opponent, but the fight unfolded very differently and caught everyone off guard.
Well, I appreciate Crawford making my prediction come through. Coming into the fight, I had him winning by decision. I thought he was the superior boxer. I thought he would be able to take a punch. And as long as he didn't stay there and exchange with Canelo, I thought he could do it. What surprised me is that there were times during the fight, he did stand there and exchange with Canelo and took it. Took some body shots to the liver, took some headshots, exchanged, and still ended up winning this fight. I thought from the 8th round on, he just put on a boxing clinic. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. Crawford deserved to win the fight.
Stephen A. Smith said he was stunned that Crawford didn't just hang in the fight, but willingly traded punches with Canelo, showing not only skill but real toughness. He admitted he never expected Crawford to stand there, exchange shots, and still hold his ground. Yet that's exactly what happened multiple times and why he believes Crawford deserves major credit. Smith even shared his scorecard, saying he had Crawford ahead 5 rounds to 4 after 9 before Crawford closed strong with a clear boxing masterclass in the final 3 rounds. Throughout the fight, Crawford took Canelo's power and answered back, thriving in moments where many thought a smaller fighter would have folded.
Crawford's a special fighter because he's got a mean streak. He doesn't back up from anything. He's usually the superior boxer in the ring. He finds a way to win. No matter who he's going up against, no matter what power you have, what boxing skills you have, he is truly a generational kind of fighter. He wants to go in the ring and not just beat you, but show you he was a better man. And he's not one who believes that just a knockout does that. He likes outboxing you and showing you that his skill level is superior to yours. And he showed it tonight.
Stephen A. Smith called it a masterclass and admitted he was highly impressed by Crawford's performance, but he still wasn't ready to take the crown away from the longtime king. In his view, while Crawford showed heart and brilliance, he didn't quite match the unique style and elusive dominance of the ring genius he still sees in Floyd Mayweather.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, I'm going to embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
This is where Stephen A. Smith set a clear boundary and shifted the whole debate. He reminded everyone that Floyd Mayweather built his greatness on defense, using a style focused on winning while taking as little damage as possible. Known for having fragile, injury-prone hands later in his career, Mayweather couldn't depend on knockouts and instead relied on precision, timing, and ring IQ. This wasn't just talk. It was a widely documented reality that shaped how he fought and why his approach was so different.
Floyd Mayweather looks me in my face and he says, I'm going to take him out about the 8th or 9th round. And I said, your hand's always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're going to do this? He said, Stephen A., he's a UFC fighter. He said, and he's a striker. He's accustomed to coming at you and throwing punches. What he's not accustomed to doing is punching while he's throwing backwards, while he's moving backwards and pushing you off of him. He says, I'm going to walk right into him and stay at his chest. He's going to have to push me off in order to throw his punches. He said he's going to be circling the ring. He said by around 4 or 5, he's not going to have any legs. He's going to be done. And he said, and I'll just toy with him and keep him around until around the 8th or the 9th round. And that is exactly what Floyd Money Mayweather did. He told me exactly what he was going to do, and he did it.
He's the man.
Mayweather himself has admitted that his hands were extremely fragile, even revealing that he couldn't spar for an entire month before the Conor McGregor fight because of an injury, which shows how much he had to adjust his style to protect himself while still winning at the highest level.
You hurt your hand? Huh? I thought you hurt your hand. That's myself. Okay. All right. Relax, baby. The job is done. All right.
Put in a bucket of ice, man. Get a bucket of ice. It's killing me.
I'm saying Shane hit me with a hell of a shot. Okay. Actually, 2 shots. Oh, okay. But even in that particular round, what I said to Shane was this. I was like,
you said something to him when you grabbed him.
I said, you got to kill me.
Oh, shit. I wasn't ready, Floyd.
I said, that was a good one. I said, that was a good one, but you got to kill me.
Wow.
I said, you got to kill me. And did I mean, I'm not going to lie. I meant it.
Adding another layer to the discussion, reports have long claimed that in the later years of his career, Mayweather chose to fight mostly in Las Vegas, one of the few places where fighters were allowed to use numbing injections such as Zyacane for hand pain, suggesting his ongoing hand problems played a big role in where and how he competed. Rather than relying on power, he leaned fully into defense and precision, becoming nearly impossible to hit and building a reputation as untouchable in the ring.
Rocky Marciano was 49-0. Before Floyd got to 50-0, he was a heavyweight champ. Did anyone ever consider Rocky Marciano the GOAT? No, not seriously, no. Why would Floyd be considered the GOAT? Because he beat more fighters than Rocky did, more great ones? That's true. But really, Floyd was careful in the way he selected opponents. Don't get that twist. It's not that Floyd didn't fight a lot of great fighters. He did. It's not that I don't think he would have beaten a lot of the tougher fighters than he fought. I think he probably would have, but he didn't do it. He waited. He waited till Pacquiao wasn't at his best anymore. He didn't fight Margarito when Margarito was tearing everyone up. He waited for the right time to fight people. He got paid twice as much for fighting Pacquiao in a less dangerous fight than he would have had he fought him when everyone wanted to see him fight. Floyd is among the all-time greats, but he ain't.
Trainer Greg Hackett supported this perspective, saying the version of Floyd who faced Canelo was a fully developed, polished fighter with a steady, refined style, and he contrasted that with Crawford's more aggressive and risk-taking approach.
I can't say he's capping. I can't, because I don't know what he felt. But when I heard that, what I think is, when Floyd beat me, I was 23. I wasn't polished. When Bud beat me, I was the man. I was the man. And he beat me fair and square. He beat me at my game and he beat me at his game. That's why Canelo said that. Do I believe that? It's tough to believe. But I can only take Canelo's word because he's the man that's been in the ring with both of them. But I understand why he said it. I was a kid when I fought Floyd. He wasn't a kid literally, but he was young. He was young. There was a lot he didn't know. There was a lot he didn't understand about boxing that he later on learned and got better. But Bud beat the better version of me, even though it's the ran down version. I'm saying that because it is some wear and tear there with Canelo. I've been saying it the whole time. When a guy got almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he's been doing and all that, trust me, it's some wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying.
I don't know. That's what it gives it that air.
I also think you got to remember when you talking about a Mexican fighter, they big on punishment. He might also feel Crawford punches harder than Floyd and took more chances than Floyd took. Floyd really was super speed that night. Like, everything speed. And it irritated Canelo because Canelo couldn't do what he wanted to do. And he looked nothing like himself. Like I said, I think it was just times where Canelo felt like, damn, I could have had him. With Floyd, I think he felt like paralyzed. Like, damn, I can't catch this motherfucker. He too fast. But with Crawford, I felt like he maybe was saying, damn, I could have, if I would have threw this or if I would have did that. You know what I mean? Because it was times Crawford sat there and caught a punch and countered back. You know what I'm saying? He let Canelo throw. Like, go ahead, throw your shit. He caught that shit, boom, and come right back with the hook. The same shot he caught Earl with. He was touching Canelo with some of that same shit, man. And it was just like, and it was times where Crawford was imposing himself on Canelo. He was stepping to Canelo at times. He didn't do it the whole fight, but I'm just saying it was times he stepped to him. Floyd did too, but Floyd just was so fast, so much faster, and the education was like totally different. Like when Canelo fought Floyd, Canelo was in middle school. He wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Floyd by that time was already a Harvard graduate. You know what I'm saying? So,
in Stephen A. Smith's own words, he made it clear where he stood on the comparison and why he still gives Floyd Mayweather the edge despite Crawford's impressive showing.
I think that Floyd Mayweather was such a magician defensively, and we have to look at Floyd Money Mayweather in this regard. Once he moved up to welterweight, his hands were always damaged, so he kind of knew he wasn't going to be able to knock you out for the most part. And still, he walked into the ring and put on masterful performances because he was so superior, skill-wise and defensively. You can't say enough. Tonight with Crawford, for example, we saw him take a punch on several occasions. With Floyd, we didn't see that too often because you couldn't hit him. That's the difference.
Crawford, meanwhile, absorbed punches from Canelo and showed he had both a strong chin and real toughness. But in Stephen A. Smith's view, the fact that Crawford had to prove it highlighted the difference between him and Floyd. Many observers noted a simpler truth. The two fighters came from different eras, so comparisons aren't just about skill, they're about timing and context. Even Terence Crawford acknowledged this, showing respect when he said, "Floyd is the best fighter in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era."
He's got something that I want.
And it's not just the title, it's what else?
It's everything. He got everything. And I'm coming to get it.
When you beat him, you'll have everything?
That's right.
This view adds important nuance, showing that greatness isn't one size fits all, but tied to the era a fighter rules. Age also complicates comparisons. Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, pointed out that Floyd was already 36 and past his prime when he fought a young Canelo, making it hard to directly compare him to a peak Crawford facing a seasoned, hungry opponent.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. Yeah, nobody and that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game,
very
obviously.
Young, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to
but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people.
How are you at the top of your career in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36.
It shifts the debate from asking who is better in a direct matchup to recognizing them as two champions, each dominating their own distinct era in boxing history.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather.
We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that fight.
Yes, sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terrence.
always figures it out.
Yeah,
Yes. He's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in
But
that
the
shit
funny
is
thing
crazy.
about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have
Can't
an
say
OG
about
somewhere.
Anybody
though.
else? Yeah.
There's an OG
Somebody
somewhere.
got a pioneer,
that
right?
you can't
Yeah,
out-figure
yeah, you got it.
There's
Yeah.
an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere.
yeah,
And I just
yeah.
believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
The discussion about their primes and defensive approaches is complicated, but one fact is clear. Terence Crawford has an impressive accomplishment on his record that Floyd Mayweather never even came close to achieving.
Accomplishments, he's three division undisputed, moved up 2 divisions to beat Canelo. So he's probably he's accomplished more than Mayweather for sure. Mayweather never became undisputed, but that doesn't mean he's better than Mayweather. I think in a fight at welterweight, Mayweather in his prime would beat Crawford, and Pacquiao in his prime would probably beat Crawford. But Crawford has accomplished more.
By defeating Canelo, Crawford became the first male boxer in history to claim the undisputed championship in 3 separate weight divisions, a milestone so significant that boxing influencer Turki Alalshik immediately called him the fighter of the century. While Mayweather captured titles in 5 weight classes, he was never undisputed in any, meaning he never held all 4 belts at once. Crawford, however, collected every belt in 3 divisions, a feat highlighting his preparation and skill rather than luck. He later revealed that his training camp focused heavily on strength, making sure he could handle everything Canelo brought to the ring. This achievement cements Crawford's place in boxing history in a way Mayweather never matched, but their careers differ beyond titles. Floyd was not just a fighter, he was the architect of his own legacy. Analyst Max Kellerman noted that once Floyd moved up from lightweight, his career became a study in strategic matchmaking, as he carefully selected opponents, timing, and circumstances to ensure that every risk he took was calculated and rewarding.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring them. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, then I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times.
This approach has faced criticism from the new generation, with superstar Ryan Garcia offering a bold opinion. He claimed that Mayweather perfected the art of choosing when to fight and when to avoid opponents, accusing him of altering the sport for the worse by steering clear of fighters at the peak of their careers.
Y'all talking about skid Ryan Garcia. Tank got his followers from kicking ass. Ryan Garcia got his followers from YouTubers. There's a difference. So you want to be a YouTuber or you want to be a fighter? Tank is a fighter.
How did Gervonta know that my rib got separated while I was in the fight? Or before the fight? How do you think they got the information? You got to pay. Who do you think told me that they paid? So I know how much money it takes to betray Ryan Garcia. I know a little glimpse.
Crawford, in contrast, has been relentless, willing to face anyone to prove his dominance. In a prime versus prime comparison, his physical stats stand out. He's an inch taller and has a 3-inch reach advantage, a critical edge in a technical fight that even a peak Mayweather would have found challenging. His record is impressive but carefully built, as fans and critics have long seen him call out top opponents, ready to face anyone to cement his legacy. Beyond his fearless mindset, analysts and former champions also highlight his physical advantages, with boxing legend Shane Mosley noting the same.
Crawford is better. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. But Mayweather is definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
While Mayweather built a perfect, impenetrable fortress in the ring, Crawford has been a conqueror, storming into any fight and taking control. Despite Crawford's historic rise, some vocal skeptics refuse to compare the two, arguing the only similarity is that they are both great black fighters, while their styles are worlds apart. One analyst bluntly said, Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather. They're just both black. That's the only similarity they have. Critics highlight that Crawford thrives in exchanges. He takes punches, sticks his tongue out, and engages in brawls, sometimes fighting with low hands and trading in the pocket. Mayweather, in contrast, relied on speed, precision, and arguably the best defensive IQ in boxing history. These observers see comparisons as hype, driven by fans desperate to name a successor to Floyd's throne. Adding to the drama, the Crawford-Canelo fight carried controversy before it even began. Whispers of a judging scandal emerged because the officials assigned had scored Manny Pacquiao's controversial draw, raising fears their style might favor Canelo. Tension escalated further in the betting world when streamer Aiden Ross, who initially placed a $1 million bet on Canelo, was accused of insider trading after allegedly receiving a mysterious call that prompted him to switch his bet to Crawford at the last minute.
Jordan, we're switching the bat.
Huh?
We're definitely switching our bat.
Oh my
What?
God.
What you mean?
No.
Don't stay with Canelo.
No, I'm going. We're going Crawford.
If he's saying that, everybody.
Crawford's historic victory, coupled with the surrounding drama, has only fueled conspiracy theories and added another layer of intrigue. So where does that leave us? The discussion of greatness is complex. On one side is Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated defensive genius and strategic mastermind who built a flawless career and a financial empire. On the other is Terence Crawford, the aggressive, versatile fighter who became the first man to fully conquer 3 weight divisions, taking on every challenger with relentless determination. Stephen A. Smith's warning wasn't just about a hypothetical matchup, it was about defining what greatness truly means. Is it the untouchable artist who leaves no flaw visible, or the fearless conqueror who walks through fire and claims everything in his path? The answer may not lie in records alone, but in what each fighter made us believe was possible inside the ring. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one.